Welcome back to another episode of the Wrinkly Brain Podcast. This is a Smooth Brain EDH affiliated podcast. We like to goof, gaff, and talk about the Commander format. I'm your host, Ethan, today, joined by my co-host, Cameron.
Howdy.
And Jason.
Hello.
I have stolen the intro from Jason back to its rightful owner. Jason, suck it. Anyway, we are moving on, and we want to talk about something awesome today. We got to go to MagicCon Las Vegas. It's insane that we got to go. We are super excited about the trip. We got back. We're exhausted. We're tired. And we are here to talk about our experiences. We finally got to go to a big convention. Jason has been to those before as a creator. A few of us have gone just as casual people a few years before the end of the world in 2020. So we just want to, talk about the experiences, share some stories, some lessons we learned about going to the events, and the immaculate vibes that we had there.
Truly immaculate.
Walking through everything we went
Immaculate.
through.
Vibes.
Immaculate vibes. There's a lot of insane stuff that kind of happened. Mostly the Uber drivers.
I'm
not
not
sure.
Our trip in general was kind of bat crazy, dog. Like,
Hey! Before 5 minutes, can't be saying that stuff.
Okay.
It was absolutely insane. We had a great time. The travel there was.
battle.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
The con itself was amazing, and the travel back was insane for Jason particularly.
Would it be safe to say that the con, very high highs.
Yes.
The travel, very low lows, and we will absolutely get there.
Yes.
So do you want to start there? Hey, can we just start? Let's start. Do we start with the softball of traveling there with Jason, or do you want us to go through what we went through?
Oh, I'll give it the softball. This is easy.
Okay, let's go with the softball. So Jason traveled alone from DC.
Yeah. Unlike these fools, I live in DC, so this was nothing special. Like, I flew with Southwest. Both of my flights were a little bit late. That was weird. Uber driver from the airport was awesome. He's actually really fun. He was talking up a storm, playing music. It's actually really interesting. If you Google best cab driver in Las Vegas, go to videos, he's actually the first person that comes up on TikTok.
Neat.
Legitimately. So just some old dude
really
named
cool.
John who's just, you'll find him rapping hip hop and he's TikTok famous because he just randomly did that. It's a cool guy.
This was the only cab we took, if I recall. Everything else was Ubers. Y'all took a cab, right?
I took another cab to get back to the airport, but yeah, this was the first cab.
Okay.
And then after that, I went to the casino, which the casino that I went to is South Point. That was next to the hotel that we were staying at.
Yes.
Went to the South Point Casino, walked through there, which is depressing as can be at 3 p.m. on a Thursday.
Casinos in general are kind of depressing. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
First lesson of Vegas, casinos are actually quite depressing and sad. Don't go to casinos. Next. Then we played pool for a while we waited for these guys to get back from the airport. Also, Cody just used whatever was inside of his bowels to commit chemical warfare on that floor, but we don't talk about that part.
I'm glad I missed that.
In the pool room?
We're like pool, as in
Yes,
like billiards.
the billiards,
Yes.
the snooker. If you're across the pond,
Correct. That's also
Hardly
a
know her.
game, but don't worry about it.
hardly know her.
Anyway, so yeah, that was all fine by me. We got to our room, everything was cool. Anyway,
Are we ready to go into our journey? It was pretty uneventful.
No, Cameron. If you're going to start with that, I had to tell the story.
yeah, because you got to go back later.
So we had a few different groups going down. So we were flying out of Dallas, a group of 5 of us going down to Dallas to fly to Vegas through a connecting flight to Phoenix. Pretty standard. One of the guys on the channel, his parents live in the Dallas area. We're going to stay with them, get a few hours of sleep, and then our flight left at 6:30 in the morning.
That was the only non-standard part about this, was the flight was hella early.
Yes, it kind of sucked, and we'll get to that. I have thoughts and opinions. So I get off of work, and we go pick everyone up. We meet at Cameron's home, and from Cameron's home at 4:30 p.m., we leave. We get about halfway there to Dallas, about 7 o'clock, right? And we're like, you know what? Let's stop here and grab some dinner. And what do you need to purchase dinner, everybody? Jason, can you ask the question, what do you need to purchase food?
An appetite.
An appetite. We do Family Feud style. I would also like to guess
Ding.
silverware. You need silverware.
Napkins.
This is actually
a
Jeff.
drink?
You need a mouth and teeth.
Jason, please answer in Jeopardy style questions.
What is a drink?
What is a wallet?
You are correct, Jason. That is 1,000 points for you. That was also your daily double. I don't know how Jeopardy works.
Jeopardy's in dollars, not points, nerd.
Cool. Anyway, the nerd, I won't say who, but one of these people on their car, which was between Cameron, Sam, and Seth, and myself, so group of 4 going down there. One of the 4, wasn't me, left their wallet. They got out of the car and said, where's my wallet? So we spent 15 minutes tearing apart the vehicle and coming to the realization that in order to fly, you need photo identification. Generally, those are kept in a wallet in the form of a driver's license. So after some amazing Chipotle, it was actually really good Chipotle.
That Chipotle was fucking it's the best Chipotle I've had in a hot minute. I've been super mid on Chipotle lately.
Yeah, Chipotle's been mid. That was quality Chipotle. And we really needed
Vintage
Chipotle.
Went back to 2014 Chipotle.
Yeah.
Got on.
So when we got back to the vehicle, it was the vibes again immaculate. And after a fantastic trip at Chipotle, we decided, well, we got to go back. So we drove back another 2.5 hours to then drive the 5.5 hours back to Dallas. So about 10.5, 11 hours in the car that night.
May I speak on this situation?
Sure. Go ahead.
Number one, do we care if we talk about, like, Jason has said where he is from? Do we care at this point if we say where we are from?
No, they already know what state y'all are in.
Yeah, we're in Arkansas.
Can I say the city? I
no.
don't care. No? Okay. Well,
That's
in
not
Arkansas location,
undisclosed Arkansas locations.
We drive, I guess we can say the second city, right? That makes sense. Like that's pretty still ambiguous.
So we got to the border.
The border. Yeah. For the geographers out there. Before we had gotten to the border, we left around 4:30. The vibes were pretty good. We were listening to music, vibing, having a good time. It was me that forgot their wallet. I don't give a shit anymore. It was me.
We've given him hell so much recently.
So not my brightest moment.
It's okay.
But
the
it was my car,
immaculate.
And I was driving, so it made me feel less bad
Which
about
is
it.
also another issue.
Wait a minute.
Of the driver not having their license. But
don't worry about that part. They can run your plates, and they know who
this
you
is
are.
your lawyer speaking. Please don't.
Hey, y'all drove in without your identification on you before. You've forgotten your wallet.
No,
I don't believe that for a second. Y'all have forgotten.
I would bet $5.
Actually, have not.
I refuse.
Cameron, I am pretty. I'm pretty good about that.
I refuse.
Dog got coat to water.
Even if I may or may not have driven illegally, I have still driven with my wallet.
Fair. Well, so we had to go back and get my wallet because, as Ethan said, you know what you need for flight? Photo identification. And apparently, my school ID would not have worked.
So we had to drive back. We had to drive back. But the vibes were immaculate. We ran off caffeine. I ran off caffeine and spite at the world. Not at anybody in particular. Just like the world. And we went and got my wallet. It was retrieved. It was right where we needed. Actually, no, we didn't go back for my wallet. This is very big-headed of us. We went back for a Sharpie. Nobody remembered to bring a Sharpie on the off chance we had to sign something. So obviously,
we had to make sure we had to come back to my house so we didn't have to buy a new one because I had a Sharpie. You want to know something funny? When we got to Vegas, I don't know where the Sharpie went. I have no idea
where that damn Sharpie went.
We were trying to buy one later, Jason and I. We'll get to that. But
I'm Sharpie
immaculate
in the entirety
vibes.
of Vegas.
We got
not find a
road trip
single Sharpie in all of Vegas.
Let me tell you about the highlight of our trip. So we were going to stay at our channel mate Caden's parents somewhere around the Dallas area. That didn't happen because we had to add an extra 5 hours to our trip. So you know what happened? We made a Bussies run at 2 a.m.
Yeah, we stopped at Bussies.
For those who are unfamiliar with what this is and only know the other slang term that what that means, where did you go?
The
beaver place.
God's gift to this earth. The metropolis. The I don't know, the pinnacle of human achievement. Buc-ee's.
Yes.
A gas station. Buc-ee's. It is more than a gas station. I'm sorry, Buc-ee.
It's a lifestyle.
That I insinuated it's only a gas station. They
those
have
bathrooms. Immaculate vibes in those bathrooms.
Cleanest bathrooms this side of the Mississippi. And also fucking pulled pork at 2:30 in the morning.
It was
different.
It hit so good.
And then their coffee, pretty good. And then I got some merch because I'm a sucker for corporate mascot characters.
Got to pay the mouse tax.
Hey, only not mouse.
The
not
beaver tax.
Mouse is
I'll pay that beaver tax any
beaver
day.
tax.
I'll pay the bussy tax.
Different road.
So we chilled outside of Buc-ee's for about an hour. We ate and we went in and out, peeing and
buying more things.
But anyway, so we got to Buc-ee's around 2, and we left about 3. We got to the airport around 4:30. We haven't slept at this. I have not slept at this point. Ethan and Seth got a little shut eye in the car.
I got about an hour.
So we got to the airport around 4. Caden was also there. And we play a game of Magic, or we get through customs and whatnot. That one wasn't bad because it was fucking
TSA.
4:30 in the morning.
Well, it's not international flight. It's just TSA.
Okay, fuck you.
Please. Anyway.
Anyway, so we get to the airport. We vibe. We haven't eaten since Buc-ee's. We didn't eat anything at the airport, I don't think. But, you know, as far as like everything past getting to the airport was kind of peachy. Like, I took a 2-hour nap on the plane. The flights were really nice. We played a game of Magic in the outside of our gate. Everything getting to Vegas post getting to the Dallas airport. Smooth.
Yeah.
It's just getting to the airport.
Smooth like our brains, right?
No, we have wrinkles here.
Yeah, we do have wrinkles here. So yeah, I mean, honestly, once we got to Dallas, it was fine. I didn't get to sleep at all on the plane. I just couldn't sleep. And once we got through the plane rides, got to Vegas, we didn't have anything to do. We got to Vegas, due to the time zone change around like 9:30 a.m. And Chandler flew separate, and he didn't get in till about 3.
Once we get to the lessons, this will become relevant once we get to the lessons.
Yes. So, hotel reservation for the rooms we were in was under Chandler's name.
Yep.
We obviously could not check in.
Are not Chandler.
We are not Chandler. We could not check in. And also, flying in like 9:30 in the morning does not really allow you to get to a hotel because check-in times are usually around 3 or 4.
Most will let you get in earlier than that, though, like noon or 1.
I mean, if you're lucky, then you might slide a 20 to somebody. So we did not have the ability to do that. So guess what we did? We hung out in the Vegas airport for about 6 hours.
Did we play any Magic? Yeah, no.
Yes.
Did we?
Yes. Y'all played Magic behind the Wendy's. And then I played like a game or two at the little spot above. We found a quiet corner.
Hey, Vegas airport, can you turn it the fuck down? That's all I have to say. Like, the volume. It's very loud in there.
It's Vegas.
It's Vegas, baby.
Yeah, so once we got through waiting for a few hours, Chandler showed up, went to the hotel. I was emotionally dead after about 24 hours of travel. I got like an hour of sleep. Got some water, and then we needed to go to the grocery store. So Jason, Sam, Caden, and I walked 45 minutes to the nearest Walmart to get groceries because the shuttle that was advertised by the hotel only ran between 8:30 a.m. to noon. So very, very good advertising on them. So we had to walk down to the Walmart and then Uber back.
That Uber driver was fine.
That one was fine. He sang. He just did his thing. He just sang some country songs that we didn't know. He was vibing.
And then we got dinner. That was a good dinner.
It was a really good dinner. Fish and chips.
Local bar, fish and chips. Literally, all 8 of us, actually 9 of us at this point, Charity was here as well. All 9 of us just got fish and chips.
So post dinner, I went home and went to bed. Went back to the hotel.
I mean, that's pretty much
bed. There was a game of Magic that happened, but like everybody was still up.
That's pretty much it, though. So let's go on the first day here. So the first day of the con, we are there bright and early because we had scheduled an event with a bunch of cEDH content creators. We were hanging out with Playing with Power, Play to Win, Lewis Stardust of Scrybaby. She was the one who organized this event. Comedian MTG. And there were other content creators that I don't think were necessarily hosts of it that had joined as well, like Kingdoms TV. So we got to meet a lot of really cool and interesting people at this event. But before we did that, we got there, went through our line, got our badges so that we could actually participate in this event, and went on a hunt for a Sharpie that did not go well.
Yeah. Turns out convenience stores don't really carry writing instruments.
No, but they do have gambling machines because it's Vegas.
Everything has gambling in Vegas.
Everything has slots.
The 7-Eleven has some damn good cashews, though, right?
Yeah, those cashews were fire.
Honestly, 7-Eleven would love a sponsorship for those cashews alone. Honestly, if you could just pay me in cashews, I will take it. I do not know what was up with those cashews. Those were criminally good, and this is Vegas.
Were.
Anyway, so, for the event, pretty good. Got there right nice and early. It was fun hanging out with people. I got to play with Kingdoms TV. I met one more game. I don't think I actually ended up playing with them. Really happy that I finally got to meet Ryan from Playing with Power. Also got to meet Zeb and ended up hanging out with him just a little bit over the weekend. It was quite fun. What do y'all think?
Event was really cool. We were trying to make it as a intro to cEDH kind of event where we had decks proxied up for people to come in and try out the format that hadn't got the chance to before. Where we got moved by the judges, not really next to the area with the players we were trying to hit. So in that regards, it was a little bit rough trying to garner interest. From a personal standpoint, I got to play with Play to Win. And that was a lot of fun. They are awesome. And then, again, I played with Jason with Kingdoms TV. Those guys were great. Like the event itself, just getting to play cEDH with them. I played more cEDH than I did casual Magic that weekend just because we sat and played for so long on Friday. And honestly, it was a blast getting to play with so many different people. Trying out a format I don't get to play that much. It was really awesome.
Yeah, I'll echo that. I got to play with Lua and Comedian, which they were both super chill. I felt out of my league because I'm not even a cEDH player, and here I am playing with like
you are now.
The cEDH content creators. And I like what the worst part was Ethan fucking proxied Thrasios, Bruce, Dawnwalker. And I'm like, Dawnwaker, I'm sorry. And I'm like, okay, how do I play this? And Ethan says, ask the guy here left. He literally made the primer. And I was like, oh. So when I fuck up, he gets to criticize me.
You literally asked to borrow my deck.
I did. And I did.
Hey, I'm just saying, fun fact, for all these events I've gone to, I still have not gotten to play cEDH with Ian. And I really want to.
He's very good.
That's the exact reason why.
What a surprise. The man who won a time twister yesterday at time of recording from getting first place in the... he won that tournament yesterday in Texas.
Good on Ian.
Hey. Yeah, Ian won the time twister.
No, sorry.
He was advertising on his Twitter, I forget. But he won the time twister yesterday. So, like, props to Ian. That man is amazing.
Texas. Yeah, I can't remember the name of it. But
what was he playing?
I think he was playing Blue Farm.
Yeah.
Oh, and Blue Farm won it. Okay, cool.
I think he was playing Blue Farm, if I remember reading the Twitter correctly, but I was kind of grazing at it.
Well, either way, that's awesome. But for the exact reason, though, that you were saying, like, playing Dawnwaker Thrasios next to the guy who made the primer, dude, that's what I want to do! Like, hi, here's a deck that you know inside and out, critique me. Free coaching, my dude.
I also don't want to downplay playing with Lua. Lua was exceptional. She put on the whole event. She was awesome.
Yes.
And
Lua was excellent. I should also mention that, they were providing packs for us to give away as well. So if we do this again, hey, come play cEDH with people who know how to play. If you don't know how to do it, we had, I think between the entire group, we had about 24 decks to loan out to people just to try. Like, I brought 6 alone, which also, first lesson of cons, don't bring as many decks as I did because I'm dumb.
I brought 4 max.
Yeah, I had a specific reason. 3. Yeah, I had a specific reason for doing it. 4 max is a really good way of going about it. My general recommendation is if you are not playing cEDH, bring a precon, bring a deck that you like that's lower power. They can play with other low power / precon level, a mid power deck and a high power deck, right? Get that little bit of diversity. If you are playing cEDH, you need to decide whether or not high power is worth it for you at that point. So, but that was easy. If you're not me and have to bring 6 decks for a cEDH event, then
overall that event was awesome though. Like we played that was until like, I mean, I think it was an all day thing, but I know I played it until about lunch. We ate lunch at like 2 that day, I think.
I mean, we spent about 4 or 5 hours, and then we were still in that area. Jason and I were there till about 4 or 5. I want to say we played with Kingdoms TV for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. And for us, I mean, it was also, putting out there. It was also networking for us too, getting to actually
Absolutely.
meet other creators, get to know them, and not just be, we get our faces out there. As a channel, we don't have our face out too much, and this was a good chance for us to really get that out there. I also should have mentioned this. We actually got to run into Dragon Shield, our partners. So Jonas and I'm blanking so hard, I feel like an asshole. Daniel, the art director for Dragon Shield. We got to meet up with them, and they actually dropped off a bunch of sleeves to give away for the event too. So shout out to them for helping support the event as well. So I actually got to meet them as well, meet our partners with Dragon Shield, who we've been working with for a year and a half now.
Oh, wow.
It's been a year and a half since we've been partnered with Dragon Shield. Like,
that's insane.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Beyond that, other things that happened on that day, the preview event was that day. I don't know. Did either of you guys go up for that?
Jason, I was literally by your side the entire time.
Yes, but
I was playing games still, I think.
There we go.
Yeah.
So we went to the preview event. That was a lot of fun. Fun fact, they were live streaming that event, and there's one person in our Discord, Alcus. We've played his list on the channel before. We've mentioned him a few times. He is just a fiend for previews and getting this information out to our Discord. Like, the second that a preview shows up, it is on our Discord
spoilers
because
guy.
of him. Yeah, he's our guaranteed spoilers guy. I was racing him, and despite being there live with a stream delay, I was still only like half a second faster than him. What the hell?
That is
awesome. Also, my quality of image was so much worse than his because he had the nice
screenshot.
Yeah, his were so much better than mine anyway. So I should have just left it to him anyway. But no, I'm going to be this guy.
You were there. It was really cool. I get to see the Mana Crypt and Camera Souls reprints announced live.
Yes.
The hype around those was palpable. You could really feel it in the room.
The hype on that was great. But I will just tell everyone, remember, the hype for Yargle and Multani, where literally the entire convention just stopped what it was doing to cheer. Immaculate.
Immaculate vibes.
Still immaculate vibes, though. Like, absolutely immaculate vibes. Really overpriced con food. That was a lesson we learned that day. I got to relearn. It was $20 for a really, really crappy burger and a bottle of water.
I got some kind of curry rice bowl that was fine. Like,
well, weren't you special?
Where'd you get that at? What the hell? I want that.
I think the cafeteria in the entrance.
I never went to the entrance. They had like a rice bowl place, and
was this like the Asian place that did not look very good? Okay,
it was fine. It wasn't like I got a vegan curry rice bowl. I am not vegan, but I just didn't feel like eating. I felt like not eating crap, and it was pretty good.
Yeah.
But after lunch, Ethan and I got to do. Or did you want to say anything else, Jason? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say Ethan and I randomly just stumbled into a member of the Spike Feeders, Aaron. That was freaking cool.
Also Spike Feeder affiliate, Michael. He plays with them, but yes, Aaron's an official member.
But we literally, Ethan and I were like, let's go find a game with some randoms. I hate using that word because it generally has a negative connotation. Mm-hmm. But some community members. That's a nicer word.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we sit down with Aaron and you said Michael was right? Michael. Yeah. We were playing with them and it was a really cool chill game, high power, casual. And we just got to talking about content creation somehow because Ethan and I had matching playmats and accoutrement. I think I was wearing my shirt that day and he's like, yeah, are y'all content creators and yada, yada, yada. And it turned out he was a member of the Spike Feeders, which is
literally a member of the Spike Feeders.
Yeah. Like this wasn't no scheduled, no nothing. This was literally run into a random guy we didn't know we were going to play with. And he was so chill.
Loved it.
Fun game. He was playing Obnixilis, but the
new Obnix.
The new Obnixilis, sorry. But when you sit across from high power, a lot of people can kind of misconceive high power versus cEDH, and so it was really nice. This was just a high power Ob deck. It wasn't anything stupid busted, but it was very good.
I was playing Gearson Starn, so 1 damage Pinger typal, and playing against the Obnix deck. Not really the best environment for you to play that deck. If you know those cards,
because it's still 1+2. It doesn't get changed to 3.
Yeah, exactly. So it still gets the 1 damage trigger for Obnix to just get half the deck.
Yeah,
I did not win that game.
I think I won that game by dicking around with Kura for long enough.
Are you sure that did Aaron not win that game?
No, because I had an Avenger of Zendikar, and then I was able to just play 3 lands because Kura's fucking stupid. and
Yeah.
and then big strong plant.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was our day one at the con. We left fairly early, like at 5 or 6.
I got a couple quick things. One, we didn't mention this, but hey, we have SmoothBrainEDH tokens that are also business cards, and we were just handing those out to people we were playing with. That was a lot of that. That was a nice little thing to have. It's probably on screen at this moment, right? Definitely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whoever the editor is, appreciate you, love you.
Yeah, a lot of the content creators did stuff like that. It was all really cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I actually made sure that any content creator I spoke to, I was like, hey, do you have merch that you want me to hand out that's yours? Like, I straight up just asked them, like, do you have business cards or things you want me to hand out or use while I'm playing games? And that was easy enough. Other things we did, mentioned before, like, getting in here, we had to go and get our promos and our swag bags. And, all right, Reed Pop. Listen to me. For those of you who don't know, Reed Pop is the company that runs Magic Cons, basically. I think they're the only ones that do it at this point, but at least all of the Magic Cons that I have been to, they've been the ones who have run it. My friends, I don't know what it is that you do with content creators, like swag bag items or whatever that you want, like you want us to be advertising these things. Please stop having items missing from it.
Yeah. So out of the group, we were given 3 content creator passes from Wizards for the event. I ended up getting one, and then Seth and Caden got our creator passes. So we, with those, got 2 free weekend passes to give out to people who were going with us. So in the end, everyone that was going on the trip was able to get a weekend pass. With the weekend passes, they were given an Arcane Signet promo and a Lotus Petal promo. The content creators were not given these when we got our swag bags. Yes. And when we tried to go ask about, hey, so do we get these promos? Like, I already know that we got in, for free. It was graciously given by Wizards, and we were just, the opportunity to go in the first place was great. So I felt bad even asking. It's like, hey, so do we get more? Like, I feel like a jerk by even asking. But if the weekend passes get, I'd assume that it was a weekend pass as well. We got to ask about that. And we were met with kind of some animosity almost about asking. And when I went, it was like the end of the first day, about to ask for it. At that point, enough content creators had asked about it.
Yeah, I think
and
Aaron
they were just like, just take what you want. Yeah, Aaron from Spike Feeders had told us, like, hey, you can get it, you just gotta go ask. Yeah. But like, essentially, the lady that I asked was just like, hand me 2 arcane signets. So I was like, here's like, it's like, I felt like, I was looking for the Lotus Petal too. Right. It's like, they didn't tell us the content creators got these 2. It's okay. It's fine.
So I have to say, like, an important thing of this is obviously content creators getting given a free thing. It sounds like, oh, how dare you complain about this? No, keep something in mind. They're giving this to us to advertise. They want us to be doing free advertisement for their event. That's why we were invited. That's why we were able to do this. So when I go and make a social media post about it, and I'm missing the Arcane Signet and the Lotus Petal, and we have no idea where these items are, even though it says, of all of the things that are guaranteed when you come to the event, the Arcane Signet and the Lotus Petal are the only things that are mentioned as guaranteed. The other items, we had no idea what we were getting. We were just going to accept whatever we got. So, the one item that we were supposed to be advertising, we didn't have. And the important thing is they split it up between 2 booths that were not even next to each other. Yeah. The content creator booth was over in the creator play area, which is on, if you come in through the entrance, it's to the immediate left of you, right? You gotta go walk down the row. You have to go into the command zone to get to it. Yeah, you have to go into the play area to go and get to this. Whereas to get the Arcane Signet and the Lotus Petal, you had to go to the, what was it called? General Admissions or
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a booth that wasn't even, the name didn't actually imply that you were supposed to come pick up a promo from here either, which was a little bit weird to me. But everyone needed to go through that and you would get your promo there. These items being split for the content creators, that's awkward because now they have to go spend time in 2 different lines to try to get what they're doing instead of actively participating in the event and promoting it like they should be. So, Reed Pop, my serious criticism here. Just try to make the swag bags ready. Like, it's not too hard to get a top loader, put both promos into one top loader, and put that in the bag, right? We can do that.
It could have been miscommunication on Wizard's part. I don't want to start pointing fingers.
Oh, no.
I know nothing.
I bring this up because the same problem happened to me again when I went to MagicCon Philly.
Okay.
I never got the Arcane Signet from that event.
Well, I got 2 this time around just from... again...
Yeah, and you just randomly got 2 this time.
I was opposite back. She just said, take it. I'm like... Okay.
Yeah. Seth also was like telling Ethan to be a Karen and be like, yeah, I get this.
No, that's just not my vibe.
Not be a Karen, but like be persistent.
And I also know in the early part of the event as well, the booth that had the Arcane Signets and the Lotus Petals, they were unaware that the content creator badges, content creator stuff was either supposed to have it or didn't have it in it. One of those 2 issues. So, they were thoroughly annoyed that they hadn't been told about this issue, and they had a bunch of content creators coming up to them, which was mucking up the line for them. Yeah. So they weren't very happy about that. Just that is my criticism on that, is just put that in the thing. Also, another nice card that we got, there was a TARDIS promo that you could get from the event. You may have seen these mucking around online because they're currently selling for $55 as a $60 at the time of this.
I make no statements on how much they are worth because I don't plan to play it and I plan to sell it. So I like that they are worth way too much right now.
Commentary on secondary market aside, the cool thing is all you had to do was go to the TARDIS set that they had and take a picture in front of it. There was a person who was there who would take your picture, make it look nice. We decided to go for slaving it up.
It was actually the Wrinkly Brain crew that did it. So
it was us
please
3.
show that on the screen. Yeah. That should be our new icon for the podcast now, because it shows us, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Just us slaving it up in front of a TARDIS is great. That was
Considering
nice.
Jason lives 10 hours away, we really can't get promo photos. We should take more time to take promo photos for the podcast.
16 hours away.
Okay, I'm sorry. I know the speed at which a horn swallow flies. I'm quite misquoting.
A European swallow.
Thank you, Mr.
Or an African swallow.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. It's been years since I've seen Monty Python.
Yes.
Moving on from this, let's get to the second day. One more thing before we finish up. Like, we even got Hot Pot, which was really nice. Kind of expensive. Also, honestly, kind of not a bad Hot Pot place, but it was pretty mid by my standards.
I mean, y'all got Hot Pot. I went back to the bar with Seth and Caden and got some burgers with deep fried bacon on it, which was so fattening, so delicious.
Thank you for reminding me. Coward.
As someone who had never had Hot Pot, it was very good.
Hey, I just didn't want to drive, Uber across town when I could have just walked to the bar again.
We walked to the freaking Hot Pot place, Uber.
Hey, it was so much farther down the street, all right?
It was like less than a quarter mile.
That is, hey, I just wanted fattening food and beer.
Coward.
Okay.
Okay.
Coward.
We got to the source of it.
A burger sounded so good right at that moment. I needed it. I need to make up for the burger I had for lunch that day.
All right. Let's move on to day 2. Day 2, vibes. Excellent vibes. Starting out with 2 of the best formats of all time.
Sorry, the adjective there was incorrect. Immaculate vibes, Jason. Immaculate.
Immaculate vibes. Starting out with each of us getting to enjoy 2 of the best formats known to all of Magic. Y'all got to play Dan Dan.
We played Dan Dan. We played Dan Dan, Ethan and I, first thing in the morning at the con.
Yeah, yep. It was a highlight for the trip, honestly.
I think we only played one game, and I won. I will gloat. I won through milling out Ethan.
You won the cowards win. Okay,
I won on the stack. We had some lonely sandbars and
very brief explanation. Dan Dan is a fan-made format. You have an 80-card deck. The only threat in the deck is a card called Dan Dan, which is a
80-card shared deck.
80-card shared deck. Only threat in the deck is Dan Dan. There's 10 of them. And it is a 2-mana 4/1 with Island Home, which means if you don't control an island, you sacrifice it, and it can't attack unless your opponent controls an island. Terrible, terrible mechanic. But the important thing is 2-mana 4 power. All right. Whole point of the game is to try to control a bunch of Dan-Dans and hit your opponents, and there's a lot of mono-blue ways of killing this. This is a mono-blue deck.
Generally.
With a light splash for a singular flashback cost on a blue card that is now red for the flashback.
At least this build of it. I know you can do different flavors of Dan Dan, but that was Jason's build. It was a lot of fun. maybe want to build Dan as soon as I got back. I have 2 currently on my desk with 4 memory lapses, because the other part about that is memory lapse, so you can counter your opponent's spells so you draw it on your turn. There's a lot of top deck manipulation found in this weird amalgamation of a format, and I'm in love, absolutely in love, and I need more of it in my life.
Absolutely fantastic format. It's great. I should also mention that I planned a lot of like random surprises throughout this whole weekend. This was one of them, was just, hey, you two haven't played Dan before. Here you go. Here's the Dan deck. Mm-hmm. One of the things that was not planned for was I got recruited for an Ultimate Masters draft.
We walked in and it was, hey, who wants to do Ultimate Masters draft? $50 buy-in?
Yeah, $50
right.
for
$50 buy-in. Winner gets the box topper. And Jason and Sam both just said, sure. So we didn't see him for like 3 hours.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, like, my most played formats are Commander and then Limited. And Ultimate Masters is a format that I unfortunately had only gotten to I've only got to play it once before, but the taste that I got of it had me thinking this is probably the best Masters draft they've ever made.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And playing through it again, yeah, it's still probably the best one they've ever done. Like, the only one that competes well with it is Eternal Masters. And, man, this was such a fun draft. I get to play Actually, we have a short on it. You can watch the short on it. But
nice plug.
Thank you. I drafted a 4-color Reanimator deck that was base blue-white, splashing red for some removal and looting, splashing black for the 1 copy of Unburial Rites, just so I could cast the front half of it. Mm-hmm. But I did have a green creature in the deck that I could not cast at all. Only way to get it into play was Reanimation. I ended up winning that whole thing. I got the box toppers, which is a Goryo's Vengeance.
Heck yeah.
Did it pay for the draft?
No.
It was fun, though.
You pay for the experience.
Yeah, I was paying for the experience. I was like, oh, hell yeah, I'll play an Ultimate Masters draft. Like, that's genuinely really, really good draft format.
Mm-hmm. During that time, I think I went to the play area. Cameron and I got a game in with some people, because we also did a pre-con event, the actual random pre-con event put on by the convention. So it was like $50 buy-in. You go in, you get a random pre-con, and you just play 2 pre-con games. And you just get play points for participating. And so we walked away with a pre-con and 2,600 play points to spend at the prize wall. The issues with the event were that you're playing pre-con, so games can drag.
Yes. Tell me I'm right.
Okay, so Jason warned us. Jason warned us about this. And while Jason was right, it was still a good time. I got the Faldorn pre-con from Commander Legends 2, which Cameron has immediately said after that event, said, hey, I want the Jessica's Will.
Yeah,
and the deck is like 97 cards right now, because that deck got scavenged from parts by other people, even though I want to keep together, kind of. Anyway, game 1 for that.
No.
Cameron, you're too cute to say no. Anyway.
You got a dog.
So the first game we played, I got paired up because Caden also did this event with us. Round 1, I was in a pod with Cameron, and round 2, I was in a pod with Caden, which is hilarious. Round 1, Cameron and I got paired up against 2 people, and the one point in the trip where the vibes were not immaculate was this pod. It is hard to... It was just the people we were playing with. Cameron and I have a good energy. We're trying to be out there and outgoing and have a good environment, and just... We would say something, and the vibes would just...
The vibes were not reciprocated. I think we can leave it at that. It was not reciprocated.
Yeah, it was a tough pod to get through, but, it happens. We got through it. I ended up winning. So, woo, Faldorn does Faldorn things. At that point, the round went like half an hour longer than anticipated by the event organizers, because apparently it was a 3-hour event, but they give you half an hour to sleeve a deck. And I don't know where the extra half an hour goes in. So it was like 3 o'clock at this point by the time round 2 starts, when it should have started half an hour previous. About a third of people dropped before the third game, or the second game, anyway, because they just won the pre-con, got the points, or they just literally got the play points from sitting down and then dropped. I just walked away. So my pod, that was supposed to be 4 people, 2 people just left from it, so I moved over to Caden's pod, play with him, and at like turn 5, it was an opportunity to just die. So I was like, I have things to do, so kill me, please. And I got yeeted by the Selesnya enchantments.
That deck
precon.
out of the box is like very, very good.
Yes, I know. My face
one,
took the hit.
Yeah, the one led by Elevir of the Wild Court from Wild Spell Drain. I think Elevir is a goated commander.
Very good commander. Like, I was very impressed.
I think he was playing the alternate commander too, and it still did really well. Like, it just it built a board presence really quick, and I said, neat, I'm dead.
Yeah,
which happens, you know?
Yeah. For anybody who's interested in going to one of these events in the future, just know what you're getting into. The thing that I immediately recognize, or two issues I immediately recognize with this event. One, it's random commanders, right? Which means you're going to have a bias towards most recent things.
I got fairies.
Yeah, like you're going to get a lot of Wilds of Eldraine commander decks. You're going to get a lot of... You got some Commander Masters, because that was relatively recent, and that's nice. But it was mostly just playing with the best commander decks of the last year. Or, well, the ones that were left over of the last year.
Yeah, I mean, there was some from the Lord of the Rings, and there as far back as Commander Legends, right? That was the Painbow and Dahada.
Right.
Yeah, there was
that was Dominaria Remastered.
That's a year ago.
That was just a year ago. It was about in the past year.
Was that
my
D&D,
issue,
so like Ethan got.
Yes, the Baldur's Gate was, I think, was the oldest precons they had.
They had is Furcrag Baldur's Gate?
Yes.
Okay, my bad. Anyway.
Yeah. So my biggest problem with the decks was, one, as Jason said, 50-50 split on between Wilds of Eldraine. Every pod, when they set the pods down, it was the Fairies precon, the Enchantment precon, and 2 other precons. So the field was just flooded with Fairies and Enchantments, which is fine. I would like some more diversity. Games. Yeah. Essentially, you're playing the same game every time. The other issue I had is you can sit down and you're given the market value $30 precon that just came out versus the colorless precon from Commander Masters or Slivers.
Hey, I honestly view that as a positive. You have the option, the ability to get that.
The ability, yes. The downside is the play experience, because those decks are by far way better than the precon that most people got. True. And so they get a steamroll. I
will counterpoint that the Elevir deck, I think, can go toe to toe with those like Commander Masters. I know this is Apple, like it's like this is the minutia. Like, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. Like, we're there to just jam precons.
Yes, and the other thing that I think on this I mentioned is, like, there were tickets that were part of this, but you got them regardless of winning. So there was no real incentive to win your pod aside from play. However, the other issue. They only gave you 90 minutes for precon games?
Yeah.
In a pod with people that don't know each other, who may not have ever seen these decks before. Let me tell you this. cEDH events run over time, and they have 85-minute rounds. 75-minute rounds are the norm. cEDH is known for ending the game on turn 3 or turn 4.
Yeah. Especially when like precons are all more likely than not going to be long drawn out combat damage focus games, and you got to deal 120 points of damage, if not more, because of life gain.
You're not the one dealing all that damage,
right? But the damage has to be dealt somehow, and games go quicker in like things with like group slug or like other means where things are chipping people down over time. There's not that much of that because everybody has a bunch of creatures that can block.
Yeah, and they try to make it long and drawn out on purpose.
Yeah, and I think the main point that Jason said that I want to reiterate is we've never seen these decks before. If like half the precons that were out there just got released like a week or two prior, so we don't know the new cards. We don't there's a lot of cards in my deck that were readers that I've never seen before, and I had to learn new cards on the fly.
And also, let's admit, can you name 30 of the cards in the Painbow deck?
I know there's a card that's is multicolored, even though it's just mono green.
Island. Swamp.
There was a reason I named 30 because I knew you were going to do that. And I was like, screw you. That's only 25 of the cards. Name 5 in there.
The Vivid Lands. Got him.
Jensen Carthalion.
Are the Vivid Lands? I don't even think the Vivids are lands in there.
Really? The Tri-Lands? I don't know.
I don't know. You want ones with land types on them for the domain stuff.
Was that domain stuff in that deck?
Painbow? Yeah.
That seems really ambitious.
Correct.
Moving on.
Okay, cool. So the event was fine. We walked away with play points, and it was an experience. We learned some lessons from getting out there. It was cool overall, and I'm glad that we did the event. past that, I know that we actually had some of our old friends. Actually, a kid that Cameron used to babysit in high school.
Well, before that,
actually ended up,
what they were doing while we were finishing that event is they were getting to play a game of Commander with Jacob Bertram.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I forgot. We were in the event, and then like I run over after getting killed quick. Jacob Bertrand,
number 2.
So if y'all don't know, Jacob Bertrand, he played Hawk on Cobra Kai. That's the role that a lot of people know him from recently. He's obviously been in more things than just that, but I think it's one of the more recognizable roles as of late.
Yeah,
the one that my mom knows him by, actually. He's apparently been a fan of ours since about the time we actually started partnering with Dragon Shield. He hit us up like a year and a half ago on Instagram, said, "Hey, I love the content." We've been keeping in on and off communication with him, and we hit him up saying, "Hey, we're in Vegas. Where are you at?" And so we get to meet up with them on Saturday and play a Commander game. I just got to stand by and watch. It was a 5-person Commander game that actually ended in a reasonable time.
It was the most reasonable 5-person Commander game I've ever seen.
Yeah. It was really cool. It was a really great game, getting to watch the swings of it all. And he was just a super chill, down-to-earth guy. It was really great to meet him. And made my mom jealous. So that's the important thing. My mother is jealous.
Yes. Also, he played a really fun Slimefoot deck.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun. I haven't seen Slimefoot in quite some time, and I was very happy to see it. Getting to play with Jacob Bertram was great. We're still hoping to have him on the channel at some point. I've now learned of some of the complications to that, so it might be a little more difficult than we would hope for, but we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. I mean, it'll happen eventually. We'll have to go out to Vegas again sometime. Also, back to what I was saying, though.
Oh, I had something else I wanted to add on.
Oh, go, cut me off. Sure.
This is off topic, though.
Oh, go.
So one of the coolest games of Commander I played at the entire event occurred on the second day. So I mentioned Carter, who the person that Cameron used to babysit actually is a Smooth Brain member still.
Has been on the channel once.
He has been on the channel. Sure. He's still in the Discord. But that was one of the other surprises that I had set up was, hey, he's here. I'm going to make sure that he's able to, or actually, well, I made sure that he came to the event so that he could do this. So that was one of the other surprises I had managed to set up, was getting to see Carter. And one of his friends brought a deck that was Raga Draga Belcher.
That's hot.
Sick.
No lands in this deck.
That's hot.
Not a single land in this deck. And he played that in a cEDH pod.
That's hot.
And won on turn 4.
That's hot.
Seedborn Muse plus Belcher, real good.
That's pretty decent.
So that was a really fun pod. If I remember to, I'll share the list in the description so you guys can take a look at that and compliment him on all of his fine work. The person the pilot for that, I don't know if he wants me to dox his name or not, so I'm probably just not going to for the moment.
Smart.
We'll see if he's cool with it, but I'll put his link either way. Anyway, now as you were saying.
Yeah, so we got to hang out with them for a bit. I know Cameron got to do like a Ravnica Allegiance draft with that group that he brought.
Sealed.
He's going to have a good time with that.
Yeah, it was fun.
Sorry, Sealed.
Mm-hmm. There is a difference.
I know
I kicked Carter's butt, so that's all that matters. I did.
Good work.
They called you a cheater the entire time. It was hilarious.
I am the resident cheater of Smooth Brain EDH.
Cheater in chief?
Mm-hmm. Cheater in chief, absolutely. Seth's the president, I'm the cheater. And queen, simultaneously.
Yeah, when did we start assigning roles here? Because, like, I missed a memo or something.
You can be the Duke.
Do I want to be a Duke?
I don't know.
You have to be an Earl.
Do you want to be a Duke? Duke also has the connotation of Dookie. So do you want to be a Duke?
But also, if I'm an Earl, I can say, my name is Earl, and, like, reference the show I watched growing up.
You can be a lord. You can be a lord of a providence. Or like a
or I could just kill the king
or something.
Kill the king. Kill the king.
There is no king. I'm the queen.
All right.
Anyway. So yeah,
I don't know where this bit went.
I don't either. So let's get us back on the rails a little bit. Honestly, day 2 was great. It was a really good vibe all around.
Ate Del Taco.
Yeah. We went to Del Taco. That's right.
First time ever having Del Taco. I'm just now hearing about the stigma that Del Taco is awful, and I didn't think that. Like it was fine.
It was good. I couldn't complain about it. Overall, it's fast food Mexican food. I enjoyed it overall. But moving on to day 3. We were kind of tired at that point.
Finally tourists.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We're
We've only done
finally
magic stuff
Taurus.
up to this point.
So we went to the convention that day. We took it a little bit lighter because at that point we were kind of exhausted from
Very tired.
networking, doing everything we did. The tape.
We were only there for like 3 hours. 3 or 4.
Yeah, we left
10,
about.
We left around 3, so about 5 hours, I'd say.
2:30. We left at 2:30.
Okay, rounding.
Mm-hmm.
So we were there for as long. I spent a lot of time that day going to vendors because I got it in my head that I want to try to find some copies of Dragon's Approach. And apparently you can find Shadowborn Apostles everywhere, but Dragon's Approach is not an easy card to find. Mm-hmm. So I got 3 copies after like 2 hours of searching.
Yep. I got to play a lot of games. It was fun. I got to meet a smaller content creator, Morgan from Geek and Seek. He was super chill. We played a really low power game. He had a budget. What was it? Not Crom. What's the Ludovic Singear, like Goad deck. It was pretty cool. And then I played a precon, the red white from March of the Machine with the Phoenix as the commander. It was a real swingy game. He stole it from me at the end, but it was really cool. But cool dude, go check their stuff out too.
Absolutely. I got to play a game of cEDH with Lua from Scrybaby, Cyrus from Mental Misplay, and I'm forgetting his name now, but MTG Hot Dog on Twitter. That's
a username.
Time. Yeah,
that's
that is indeed a username of all time.
Yeah, it was a good pod overall. I enjoyed it. I played it okay. My deck did not cooperate quite the way I wanted to, but it was fun overall.
But chill day overall as far as the convention goes.
Yep. Well, I think a lot of us just spent time picking up pretty foils that day. I know Seth walked away with like a few, like Kaladesh Invention or 2, or like a Amonkhet Invocation. Got a Kaladesh Invention of a card, Amonkhet Invocation of a card, and like 2 other pretty foils because he's an addict. I'm not going to say the names for editing reasons. You're welcome, editor. But we all picked up some pretty cards that day. Spent way too much money probably. It was a good time all around. And then we went to go be tourists because Jason demanded it.
Yes. Dear God.
I also wanted to. We saw the ball several times.
We saw the spear.
I tried to set us being Taurus on Thursday. I tried earlier in the week being like, all right, what day are we gonna do? Are we gonna be Taurus on Saturday afternoon? Is that what we're gonna do? No, it took until like last minute. We're like, okay, so now we're being Taurus, right? Yes, we're gonna go be Taurus.
Yeah, I didn't want to miss the event. That's why we were there, and so kind of pry me away from the opportunity to be there was kind of hard for me. Because it was like, this is like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, potentially, and I didn't want to just like give up. It's like, oh yeah, I'm cool just missing out on the convention. I still wish I was actually there more, personally, but that's for next convention. We'll get to lessons learned here in a little bit. So we went and get Thai food, because Jason demanded it as well.
It's like, I can't remember the name. It's Thai something street.
Thai Street Cafe.
Thai Street Cafe. That was it. Thai Street Cafe. God, that was good Thai food.
It was good Thai food, man.
Do we want to talk about, or is Weird Uber's going to be a whole segment at the end?
Oh, no, go right ahead.
Oh, yeah, so this Uber was really weird. It was us three, I think Seth in this
Uber.
Uber, right?
So, like, I don't want to give away too much just in case, but, like, this person seemed cool at first, but then they started insinuating that we go to different bars because the women looked younger, like less than 20.
No, we can be more... He said, hey, you should go to this strip club because they look like they're barely 18. Which I'm just like, no. Can we just like, all of us kind of shut up and just like read the next 20 minutes kind of in silence, kind of.
Then he just kind of rambled to keep rambling.
Is this also the guy who gave you the secrets on how to sneak weed past TSA?
No, this is a different guy.
That's a different guy.
A different guy.
Chill.
Excellent.
He was chill. He had played MTG as a kid.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. Sure.
I will say overall, we had some generally good, excellent Uber drivers. Like there was the other one that I think we had this on Friday, where I got to have a nice conversation with a guy who's of Cuban descent. So we got to talk about Cuba, foreign policy, and
that was the way back Saturday because they
dropped
us off at the Del Taco.
Saturday. Yeah, and then also talking with him about things like pollution and ocean health and things like that, which is really cool that I get to talk about all those things because that's what I did for my university work. So that was awesome. Mm-hmm.
That's on one end of the spectrum. The other end is either going 95 and a 60, and all of us wonder if we're going to die. Didn't say a word to us, just literally was weaving through traffic, and I was actually scared for my life a little bit.
He was cool because when I said sphere, he rolled down my window and let me take a picture of the sphere.
So Friday night,
the first concert for that recently happened. Also,
yes, I heard about YouTube or something. Right?
YouTube,
yeah. That's unrelated to this. I remember we left convention Friday, and Uber driver did not say a word. I don't think he spoke English.
No, he did.
I tried to talk to him, and he just didn't say anything. So he may have just hated the way I looked, but I don't think he spoke English. Ouch, thanks, buddy.
I love you.
But I was trying to take a video of the sphere. He rolled down the window. I was like, oh, thanks, buddy. So there were some cool Uber drivers, and there were some that I never want to see these people ever again.
Yep.
Thank you, Vegas.
But yeah, after Thai food, it was, let's go walk down the strip. And that was a lot of fun. I mean, it was the basic of walking with the bros.
Down the strip. Started the New York, and made our way all the way to the Margaritaville by the Flamingo.
Yeah. Some of us did really well at New York, like me. Mm-hmm. Some of us did not. Like
I rode the roller coaster. I rode the roller coaster.
Oh, Mo, honestly, if you're going to spend money in Vegas, honestly, take this mentality with you. If you're walking into a casino with any intention of spending money, just say, like, set your amount and say, just think this way. This money is already owned by the casino. This amount that I have dictated, this is now owned by the casino. I have already lost it. Mm-hmm. And enjoy yourself from there. Yep. If it's exhausted and you had fun playing the games, okay.
I was very lucky. I was up like $84 above what I brought in. Yeah. And I said, neat. We walked away. I did proceed to lose that the next day.
We got lost in this casino. They're very labyrinthian.
Yes.
By design.
They are dangerous. Do not get caught unless you are intending to be there. Know your limits. Very important to take that lesson with you if you're going to do. Also,
know your limits. There's a gambling joke in there with like high limit. I'm too dumb to figure it out.
We'll find it out. Someone in the comment section smart enough, let us know. But the other thing is, if you're walking down the Vegas Strip, don't call the random business cards they give you.
No, those are not business cards. I mean, I guess they are business cards in a sense. Or don't call the numbers on the billboards on the trucks going by. I was a little naive going to the Strip. I did not realize how blatant the advertising of said services was. Call that my Bible Belt upbringing, maybe. Yeah, a little naive on that. And like I got recommended from people. It's like, just be careful. I'm like, sure, whatever. And I'm like,
for everybody wondering, yes, it is a sex thing.
Yeah, just blatant prostitution.
Ethan, we got to see Mario from Mario, and Princess Peach, and Sonic, and Knuckles the Echidna. Don't stop and take pictures with them. They'll harass you for money.
Yes, they will.
We're not speaking from experience. We knew that actually going in.
There was one. Obviously, there's ladies with minimal.
They are not real showgirls, as far as I'm aware.
No. But I know there was one that had a slight police officer theme at some point, and with the
BDSM woman.
Yes. Decided to take a liking to Jason actually while we're passing by them. Jason, would you have to give your side of the story on this one?
Oh, I'll give the whole story on this. We're trying to figure out where to go to get for our Uber, right? And
we just got done to Margaritaville.
We just got home from we just got out of Margaritaville.
Poured one out for Jimmy.
We had to pour one out for Mr. Buffett.
But as we were walking out, we stopped for a second, and that was our mistake. We stopped moving for half a second.
I don't think we even stopped moving. We just slowed down.
We slowed down because we heard a whistle. And normally when you hear a whistle in a congested area, you think, oh, like a cop trying to direct flow of people. I mean, she was dressed like that, but continue, Jason.
Yeah. But she comes over, she's got a riding crop in her hand, and she's going, "Who's naughty over here?" To which I respond very clearly, "Nobody." And she says, "Are you sure about that?" and slaps my ass with it. So
let's go,
Hoggies.
To that woman, no, bad. Don't do that.
I think Jason literally turned around and said, "Don't do that," and kept walking.
Yes.
Straight power move. Straight power move, Jason.
Don't do that. Do not do that.
I mean, that's technically assault.
Yes, that's why I'm saying don't do that.
But, I mean, they can do whatever.
It's Vegas, baby.
It's Vegas, baby. What else did we do on the strip that
We
night?
went and saw the fountain.
Assaulted?
The Bellagio fountain was really pretty.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fun.
It was really impressive.
We tried to go to Rainforest Cafe, and
That
they were
didn't
booked
go.
up. That
No.
we heard the wait was like half an hour. Said no.
So we went and sat in the wrong place in Margaritaville. The waiter was
Yeah.
chill about it.
We decided to get ice cream. We decided to not get ice cream.
Jason was really disappointed because by the time we got back to the hotel, it was like 10:30.
Don't worry.
Yeah, we
Ice
had to
cream-
be up.
Ice
early.
cream is foreshadowing.
Yeah, we had
So
to be
we
up
ended
hella
up-
early because Chandler, another lesson was he had his own flight home and he was in charge of checking us out. So we had to get up hella early with him because his flight left at 9, and the group that went down there that flew out of Dallas, ours didn't leave out until 7 or 6:30.
No, 6:55. We'll round up to 7.
We started boarding at
acceptable
6:30. So
My flight out was at 12:50. So
Yeah.
that's
So
bad.
the flights were pretty spread out throughout the day on leaving Vegas. So again, we had time to kill at the airport, which we'll get to that because before that, we had to do something really awesome. Whenever we had to leave the hotel, we went down to the Westgate to go meet up with our good friend and fellow content creator Phil Gallagher from TrabenU
love you, Phil.
for breakfast. And I had some hella awesome eggs Benedict. It was so good.
From recommendation
And-
from Phil.
Yeah, no, it was. He did not miss, and those eggs Benedict did not miss. Service was fantastic. I see the appeal of fancy restaurants in Vegas hotels now.
Yep. We had a quality conversation, just chatting about all sorts of things. We taught Phil that Jaxus is a girl.
Yes, we sure did. That's right, because he had a video coming out, and I was like, "Oh, Jax is she," because that's one of my main decks, and he goes, "Oh, I got to pin a comment."
She's like,
Yeah,
Jaxus is a lady? Just like, yes, Phil.
yeah. So yeah, it was honestly that breakfast I think was a highlight of the trip for me. Like getting to talk to Phil because we've all watched Phil's content over the years when we were back in the Legacy in the day. I know Seth. It was essentially getting to have breakfast with his idol. Like
Yes,
very
the
much
D&T
because
guy
Seth
at one point.
Seth was a big D&T player and like would look up Phil's sideboard guides and like message Phil and Seth before he came on our channel years ago before COVID changed the landscape of everything. Seth ran a podcast with some other buddies called Casual Ponderings. It was a legacy podcast, and they had Phil on as a guest. And so when we started talking to Phil for EDH content we had on the podcast previously and everything, we mentioned Seth, and Phil remembered him, and so that made Seth's like year at that point, and then got to have breakfast with him. So like Seth like was just over the moon,
Fangirling.
like a different plane, like very much so.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. Very happy we got to eat breakfast with Phil. Like, that was truly one of the highlights of the trip.
Phil's a fantastic guy. If you care about any other content outside of ours, like I recommend Phil as a content creator because one, just a genuinely awesome dude and makes really great content, very informative. Just overall really awesome. And we are making new content with him. I did do the pitch, trying to make another podcast episode with him. And so next episode, keep your eyes out for it or ears. We are going to have
I'll keep
Phil
my nose
on
out for it.
Yeah, thank you, Cameron. Very cool.
The plan is to have it out there. We'll hope.
Yeah, barring
Things could go wrong,
Right.
but
I will move hell and high water to make that episode happen. All right? It's going to
Sure,
be
it'll
awesome.
happen, but just don't promise it as the next episode.
It should.
Yeah.
There you go.
It should be the next episode. I am being told by my lawyers to use more vague terms
Yes.
to not put myself into a corner.
so let's get on to the true highlight of the rest of this trip, getting back.
For you.
It was, yeah. Let's start with the easy ones. It was pretty chill for us.
Yeah,
honestly,
we got to the airport around 11 and we had to dick around until 6:30.
we had to dick around for a bit because we couldn't check in some of our luggage.
Sam and I's
'cause we had to,
bags.
so we had to sit with our bags till like 3:00, and we found that quiet spot above the baggage claim area that was still there. No one's over there, so we still had to stay over there, play Magic,
I studied.
drop off bags to check bags, and then it was really just super simple from there. Like our travel back, plane wise was great.
Plane
And then
wise
it
was great. Driving back from Dallas to our location that we live in.
Stop the bussies again!
We did sell the pussies again. That was fun. I was going to try to drive the whole way back. We got from like 11 to what it would have been 6 in the morning. I was about to fall asleep after leaving the bussies, so Sam came in clutch and let me fast travel home by taking a nap.
I passed out
I
hard
did too.
on that car ride, and we didn't get back to our home city until
Till
like,
6 in the morning.
I didn't get home till I walked in my front door at 6:45 in the morning, and I passed out.
I stayed up because I had an exam to take at 9:25. Then I went home and slept from noon to like 5, woke up 8, went back to bed at 7 and slept till like 9.
9 a.m.
Yes.
The next day. Yeah.
All right.
So it's hot.
All right, Jason regale us with your tale.
It's dark and stormy.
All right, so this was
flight home
an
from
adventure
hell.
getting home. All right, so I would like to remind everyone that my flight home was leaving at 12:50, and my expected time of arrival back in DC after getting onto the next flight and such was about 10:30. I was supposed to be at home by 11. All right. So the first thing is, after leaving from the West Gate, I get into this cab. I share a cab with this cool Irish guy. Can't remember his name, but he was somebody who went to the con as well, so that was nice.
Huh.
And the cab driver he'd be mad at me saying this specifically, but he's a Nigerian cab driver who said some concerningly racist shit. He had a pretty solid vibe up until the beginning, but when I asked him where he was from, he did not like being called Nigerian, and that's because, as I figured out talking with him, he is what I believe he would call Biafran, which is a nation that tried to split away from Nigeria during for the Nigerian Civil War. He was on that side of things, or at least his family was. But anyway, this resulted in a big conversation of a mixing of generic history information along with racist shit based on Judaism and Christianity, where he was saying like, oh yeah, this is a pretty common tactic for that colonizers would do, where they would go into a country, they would pick an ethnic group that was favorable to them and put them at charge. This is something that happened in Syria, this happened in Rwanda, it happened in Nigeria. He said that all of them fall from the same ethnic group, the tribe of Judah, and so did all of the people from the UK. That's why they got along so well. And he kept trying to ask, where are you from? Where are you from? I'm like, bro, I'm American. Like, we're a mixed pot of everything over here. While I may be white as hell, it doesn't mean that I'm not different flavors of white. Like, so so it was like, oh, where are you from? I'm like, well, I'm German, I'm Scottish. He's like, no. Where are you from? Like, last name? I'm like, all right, I'm Scottish. He immediately, tone down. Like, not happy with me from that point. I'm like, well, done fucked up, I guess. Anyway, so he's just pointing out all these different ethnic groups that were fine to work with because they're not from tribe of Judah and shit. Anyway, so my Irish compatriot was very happy to get out of that cab first. And then eventually I got into my own area. I'm still here for about an hour early, or hour and a half early. So all right, I'll go through security. And because we didn't get a milkshake yesterday, I decided I would go on a quest to find a milkshake. I quickly identify where my gate is. Walk by it, walk all around it.
I have to verify. This is actually not a sex thing. This is actually just you wanted a milkshake.
No, straight up, I wanted a milkshake. So I've tried to figure out, all right, where's the best place to get a milkshake around here? I find that there is a Shake Shack, and there's a TCBY. All right, walk around the airport, find my way over to the Shake Shack. The line is massive. Like, all right, screw that. I'm not going to the Shake Shack. I want to find this TCBY. TCBY is in E-Terminal for Las Vegas Airport, which is the only terminal that's basically like separate from the main terminals. So it's a ways to get there. But because of the signage in the Las Vegas airport, if you try to follow the sign to go to that terminal, it doesn't tell you this, but it's going to walk you through the main lobby, past security.
You go through security twice.
I went through security twice to go find a fucking milkshake.
Lovely.
Finally got there, got my milkshake. It was shit. Like, that was a terrible milkshake. Managed to get back to my flight with only about 15 minutes to spare. Well, good news. Southwest was late by 15 minutes anyway, so I still waited 30 minutes to get on my flight. Whatever. Alright, that's fine. But because I'm 15 minutes late, my layover was only 45 minutes getting to my next stop. By the time we get there, we actually have 20 minutes to get there. 20 minutes isn't a lot of time. And it's like 6 p.m. at this point, or it's getting close, or about 5 p.m. at this point or something like that. So I'm like, shoot, man, I gotta get some food. What am I gonna get in this area? Whataburger.
Absolutely.
So I go through, I get Whataburger. I haven't had Whataburger in years. Dallas Airport here. But I get that Whataburger, and I just slam that thing back because I did not have time to enjoy my meal because they were calling for boarding the second I sat down.
Oof.
It's like, crap. So I'm just going through eating that. Honestly, Whataburger, that slaps, man. I got to go back and try some more Whataburger at some point. But, so we get onto this airplane now. All right, seated, ready, we're on the tarmac. We're on the tarmac for 15 minutes. 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
An hour.
Okay.
An hour 30.
Okay.
Oof.
2 hours.
Bigger oof.
Ooh.
2.5 hours on this tarmac.
Fun.
Because at first, there were a bunch of planes in front of us, so they were slow to take off.
Reasonable.
Whatever, not a big deal. Then there's weather issues in DC. And they closed down the 7,000-foot runway for repairs. Okay, sure. They had a 5,500-foot runway that we could land on. Okay, well, apparently, and this is the big problem, there's a mechanical issue with the brakes. Something about the brakes would make it extremely dangerous to use a 5,500-foot runway while it's raining. So that's why we were stuck in that tarmac for 2.5 hours as they determine, okay, well, what are we going to do with this plane? Eventually, they make the conclusion of, oh, it's fine, we'll fly to Baltimore. Baltimore's close enough. It's not the worst. It's 40-minute drive, so it's not that bad. But the thing is, they also tell us, it's okay, we're going to land in Baltimore, and then we're going to make a quick fly over to D.C. and do it again. It's like, why would you make this... Why would you say something clearly not true? I'm not sure why you think I would ever believe you that we're going to land in Baltimore, and then after offloading the people who want to be in Baltimore, we're going to fly back to DCA. No, that's not happening.
No, it's not worth the time. It would take less time to drive or get on a train.
But anyway, so after all this delay, we finally get in Baltimore. It is 2:30 a.m. at that time. Or 2 a.m. at that time. Takes 40 minutes for our bags to get off of the plane and for us to get the vouchers we need for taxis. But initially, the taxis were only going to take us to DCA. They weren't going to let us go anywhere else.
That's funny.
Which is stupid.
Taxi to
I just politely asked, of course, hey, I'm not going to disclose my address, but in terms of the relative distance for where I was going, it's about the same distance as going to DCA. Can you just send me here? And they agree. So, long story short, I eventually get home, but it's 4 a.m. by the time I get there, and I believed I had work in the morning. Good thing I was smart and took time off, but dumb enough not to remember.
I thought you said that you had to go in. Like, I had to go in. I had to work in like 4 hours. And like, I'm glad you just forgot you took off.
I apparently planned ahead.
I did not actually whenever I was scheduling time off because I thought we would get. When I heard we're getting back on Monday, I assumed that meant I'd be in my own bed on Monday evening, not getting back to Dallas technically on Tuesday.
Excuse me, we got back to Dallas at 11. It was Monday
11.
night.
Yes, we landed at we left like 20 minutes or 15 minutes early, so we got back to Dallas at like 11:20 p.m. Technically, yes, we got back to Dallas on Monday. That was not still our home city of insert the blank. That was a lot of fun. I still took off that next day. My boss understood, but it's just like,
That was a hot mess of getting through that. I will say at least one very nice thing is to my Nigerian cab driving friend. Thank you for inciting my interest in the Nigerian Civil War. I did watch a documentary on it because of you, so...
Neat.
Fair enough. So, after all of that, what did we learn? What did we gain out of this trip other than memories, some good times, and a chance to see our buddy Jason?
Apparently, I'm a descendant of Judah, and I can't be trusted.
I mean, I knew that, Jason.
Obviously, we knew that, Jason. Come on. There's a reason we keep you at 16 hours away, obviously.
My biggest takeaway, do we just want to do one big takeaway for all of us, or are we just going to go?
Let's just go.
Okay.
Let's be honest here.
Well,
the honest opinion of what we had about the trip.
I had a lot of fun. My biggest thing is staying closer to the venue. Phil was telling us at the Westover where other content creators stayed. There's a monorail that literally takes you to drops you off in front of the convention center. So I think one of our biggest regrets is not staying longer at the convention, because we were leaving at 4 and 5 in the afternoon when on Friday and Saturday it was open until midnight. And being able to walk or take a train to go back to a hotel room, take a nap, and come back in the evening after you've recharged, that could really help us play more games, network more, just do more stuff in general. That's my biggest takeaway, staying closer. And that's not to say that I didn't enjoy where we stayed, and the deal we got was very good. But just knowing what we know now.
Yeah, and echoing that, when I went to Philly, I stayed 2 blocks from the convention center, right? That's to an absurd degree of being close, but it made things a lot easier, because if I was done for the day, that's fine. I can just go explore some of the local area and do whatever I wanted to do. With Vegas in particular, it has the one monorail, but its public transport is not up to snuff for what we needed if we were going to do it otherwise. So you needed a car, you needed to be using Ubers and taxis to get wherever you wanted, and we had no choice in the matter but to do that. Yeah. So,
or rent a car.
Yeah, or rent a car. Which either way, you're relying on a car.
And there's 9 of us, so it's 2 Ubers per trip to anywhere.
One of those was an XL, because we didn't want to take, it had to be more than 4, so we had an XL. Those Uber costs add up. We did save money on the hotel where we stayed. We stayed, for being in Vegas, we stayed really dirt cheap. We had a really great deal. Can we disclose how much we paid for our housing there?
I think it's fine if you want to.
Each of us paid $43 total for the 5 nights we stayed in Vegas.
It's 5 nights.
We got a really, really amazing deal, and that's the reason we all got to go. It's because we had a really great deal on travel, on our flights, and on the housing. But we did eat costs on Ubers and on food.
I have another quick point, is that with the place we stayed, one of the things, it was more like a resort, so it had pools and billiards and an arcade. At the end of the day, is knowing what we know now as content creators, we really don't care about that stuff. All we need is a place to sleep, is all. And all those amenities were really cool, but you need a place to sleep and shower.
No, that said, the other important lesson, and this is one that's going to apply to everyone. It's not content creator specific. Have a way to relax and enjoy the event. If you are getting tired of the event, break away for a little bit. We were a little far from the Las Vegas Strip to just go to the Strip and enjoy that casually. There was gambling machines, but not really a casino, for example, right next to where we were working if we wanted to do something like that to pass the time. But being able to do something like that, to just go back to your hotel and take a nap, or do whatever you need to do to continue to enjoy the event, is really important. That's why we were fine with checking out on Sunday, because we had exhausted most of what we wanted to do by the time we'd gotten to Sunday.
Yeah, and staying closer, staying closer really facilitates all of this, because anytime we wanted to do anything, for the Strip, it would have been nice to just be able to leave the convention and go straight to the Strip. But we have our Magic the Gathering stuff, and I didn't want to carry around my bag all afternoon. It would have hurt.
Yep. Additionally, we already mentioned bring 4 decks. 3 or 4 decks is really all you need to do for going to these events and having fun with it. Another thing I'll add to this, and this is just general thing, do take advantage of seeing what events are available ahead of time. Many of them sold out quickly. When the events are posted, you want to know.
Sure. Yeah.
Try to get that schedule. Don't do too many of them. Give yourself extra time. Give yourself 1 to 2 events a day, sort of thing. But know your schedule.
Shout out to the event staff for this, because Caden, Ethan, and I were going to do, when we signed up for this pre-con league thing, it wouldn't let us do it online. This lady at the booth literally just turns around her personal laptop, because it said it was full online. And she said, no, there's 6 spots here. And she turns around her personal laptop and lets us enter our information on that. She said, just don't make sure you do not save your credit card.
So I know there were some issues with communications on staff on the first day, but honestly, the staff there super helpful. The judges super nice. In the command zone, there was this one judge. I wish I got their name. They were super awesome. Communicating to us, was really engaged in our games. Like the game we had with Kingdoms DB, Jason, it was that person. Judge kept coming over and was bantering with us and talking, and like the command zone staff, like the judges there were really awesome. Overall, like the event staff was great. I think my biggest regret is I don't feel like I played enough games of Magic. I feel like I kind of got caught up in some other stuff and just watching other things. I wish I had played more games. Personally, just because I brought decks and I didn't really use them as much, but like getting to know people out there and I potentially could have met someone that watches our content and get to have that with them. I get to do enough on that, and so the next convention I go to, I want to spend more time playing the game as well as doing the other cool stuff like watching the preview panel and go around to different vendors. But I feel like that's the area that I kind of lacked at personally. And the next convention I go to, whatever that is, you will see me playing a lot of games. Like an absurd amount, and I'll make up for that. So come find me next convention I'm at.
One other very important thing: sanitize, people. Sanitize.
Yeah, we got very lucky overall. Jason got the con flu.
I don't even think it's necessarily con flu. There's been some sort of pollen or whatever in DC that I've had to do. It's probably the fucking ginkgos now that I think about it. It's probably something related to something over here, but when I was in Vegas, perfectly fine. Before in DC, not feeling great. Got back, oh my god.
I was tired, but honestly, I was all right. I'll thank my CPAP machine for keeping me sleeping well and getting to recover.
I thank the alcohol and the one edible I took for helping me sleep well.
It's legal there.
It is.
So yeah. Overall, the trip was we will talk about the lessons we learned, and I think those are all learning experiences that were positive. We learned a lot about our group, about our image we want to put out there, about our content we want to make. Honestly, we learned a lot. I went into this trip knowing it was work. Personally, I know it's cool. We're going to Vegas. It's a vacation, all this stuff, but no, this was work for us. And I want to say that we learned a lot. We grew a lot as a channel, and this really revived and rejuvenated our spirits on making content. I feel like we get to a point, we've been doing this for about 3 years now, and it gets a little bit tiring sometimes of having to put out content regularly. But I think just being in that space of just seeing the other content creators and seeing other players and kind of got us back to the point of this is why we make content. This is why we love this game. And for me, still thinking back to that moment, I'm getting goosebumps. Like I get a little bit emotional because it's just so awesome, the community that's out there, and I just want to see where we can take this content. Be a positive force in this community, and that means we thank you guys for just listening. Like we get to do this, and y'all listen to us for some absurd reason. I don't know why. It's probably because Cameron's so cute, but this is just one of the greatest things I get to do with my life, honestly, and it gives me joy to be able to help make content with my best friends, and it's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I have 2 more lessons.
My heartfelt message. Anyway,
I do appreciate.
Also,
and
I'm gonna
love
let you finish.
But
plan travel better. Travel with your people.
Yes.
Honestly, that was my biggest gripe. Is that next time we know to if we are flying, to all fly together so that we don't have to wait on anyone, because that was a whole day lost in Vegas, in fucking Las Vegas, because 4 of us got there at 9:30. 5? Yes.
Yeah, because Cade Medicine, Dallas.
That's right. 5 of us got there at 9:30 and could not do anything because we had all our shit. So plan your travel better. Make sure you can check in with all your people. Lesson number 2. Munkle Munster, I know. I hope you're listening. You claim I met you at this convention. Now, I don't expect you to... I just need to know, I don't want you to oust yourself if I did meet you, but are you fucking memeing with me? Because these shit I have gotten from these motherfuckers on this from in our group saying, you met Munkle Munster and didn't say anything? I don't know. So if I did meet you, if you can confirm in the comments, please, I would love you. And, if you want to keep the meme up, that's fine. And if I did meet you, awesome. I'm glad I got to meet you. But I'm living in a constant state of Spain without the S because of this, and I just need to know. Those are my lessons I've learned. What about you, Jason?
I gotta check the poll results on whether or not we overthrow you. I gotta check that real quick.
No, I'm queen. You cannot overthrow a monarch. There shall be no coup. I'm too cute to be ousted as queen.
I say you're cute, but you're not that cute.
All right, but I think that about wraps up everything we wanted to say today. Anybody else got anything they want to add in here?
Thank you to all of you that listening, as Ethan said, for allowing us to do this. It was incredible. None of us ever started playing Magic the Gathering with the intent of content creation or anything like this, and being able to have built a community that allows us to do this kind of thing is fucking insane, honestly. Like, we just played this as a card game I started this in college as something to do with my roommates, and now it's literally, like, of my hobbies, it's probably, like, it's my biggest hobby, frankly.
Yeah. I mean, again, this is just an absolute blessing to make content, and we don't expect anything out of this, and we're just very blessed to be able to have this opportunity. But again, I want to say this rejuvenates my drive to make content in a lot of ways. It makes me really want to put more out there and make better quality content. So I want us to see, as a group, us improve our content here soon, over some time. And, obviously we want to hear from you guys if there's things you want to see out of our content, whether it be podcasts or our main channel content with our gameplay. Obviously let us know, reach out to us on Twitter, Instagram, our Discord server. This is the plugs, obviously, but this is a genuine, we want to hear from you guys. We want to make content you all want to see. Because it's just we have a drive for it. We have a passion for it, and we want to make it the best we can. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up unless anyone wants to stop me real quick.
No, you good.
I'm getting shaken heads. So everybody, thank you all so much for listening / watching another episode of the Wrinkly Brain podcast. Reminder, apparently this outro script that I have written is from the last episode. Jason did not edit this part. He just copy pasted because it says we're being Vegas next week, and that is definitely not the case. So I'm going off script here. Last week. So again, thank you all so much for listening and watching. Obviously applicable links to everything, our social media, our Discord server, our main channel, our merch store, everything is in the description. Go ahead and give us a subscribe on this channel if you wouldn't mind. It really helps us out, and we'd love to hear from you guys. Again, just everything. Thank you all so much. I'm overflowing with joy and happiness about what we've been able to do here, and just thank you guys so much again for listening. This has been Ethan, Jason, and Cameron from the Wrinkly Brain podcast. Have a great day.
Oh yeah, poll results are in. You're going up on the poll, buddy.